Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. Today's video is pretty special, and when I say special I mean the kind of special that rides the short bus to school. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you don't have to worry about the quality of any teams that you get into in World of Tanks or World of Warships for at least the next week, because this weekend I won the shit team lottery. Take a look at this team lineup. Now, for those of you who didn't see my previous Defensive Naval Station Newport operation video, we have 7 slots available on our team at either tier 5 or 6. Only 3 of us in this particular battle are tier 6. There's myself and the Leander. We have a Bayern class battleship and a Farragut class destroyer. Unfortunately, while the player in the Farragut was certainly the least shit member of my team, he was still in a destroyer, and destroyers are not particularly useful in this operation. On the bright side, at least he was in the Farragut, which is a tier 6 American destroyer, and the guns are pretty good. The same cannot be said of the other destroyer on the team, the Japanese Minakaze, the tier 5, which is about as much use as tits on a fish in this particular operation. So, from the bottom up we have 2 destroyers, which is 2 more than you ideally want in this operation. Then we only have 2 cruisers, one of which is myself in the Leander. And then we have the battleships. Now, battleships are not a terrible choice in this operation. Unfortunately, these 3 battleship captains would have had a hard time finding 2 brain cells to rub together between the 3 of them. And then, of course, just to add insult to injury, we don't have a carrier. But you can always fight through a poor team lineup and still win if the players in charge of the less than optimal ships that you find yourself playing with are any good. Oh boy, was I about to be disappointed. I did not have a warm fuzzy feeling in the pit of my stomach right at the start of this battle when I looked at the team lineup. And then when I saw that guy over there in the Koenig telling everybody to get up there and brawl, yeah, that warm fuzzy feeling wasn't getting any closer. To be fair, our Farragut captain does at one point try to tell everybody to fall back within the base perimeter, stick together, support each other, and take advantage of the base defences. But nobody listens to him. So, the first attack wave, these are only tier 4 cruisers. Right, they're not a huge threat. They're certainly not a huge threat to a battleship, even if you're just a tier 5 battleship like the Koenig, unless you charge them. Because they have torpedoes. These are Japanese cruisers. Guess what the Koenig's going to do? There he goes. Now, right now you're thinking, oh great, he's going to get torpedoed by the Kuma and the Yubari. Close, but not quite. It's actually worse than that. Watch this. You're not going to believe this. Okay, I'm going to pause it just here because I've just hit and citadeled that Kuma. And while his health bar hasn't updated yet, he only has 4,000 health remaining. That Koenig, however, he's on full health. Yeah, well, not for long. Watch this. Yep, he just rammed the Kuma. No, really. He rammed the Kuma. And now he's turning to port and attempting to ram the Yubari as well. He just threw away over 20,000, more than half of his health, in order to sink a tier 4 cruiser that only had 4,000 health left in the first 2 minutes of the game. And then he tries to do it again. Because clearly 20,000 health is too much health. So he just tried to kill himself by ramming 2 cruisers in the first 2 minutes of this game. That's one of our battleships. Yeah, you'll notice that the team is spread out across 15 kilometers of ocean. So we're not really able to bring our firepower to bear. Not that it matters that much in the first wave of the attack, but it's proving very difficult to focus our fire on targets, because everybody's scattered all over the map. Now, I do realise that when I first did a video on this particular operation, I did say that the battleships needed to get up there and engage the enemy. You know, they needed to brawl the enemy and take the hits so the cruisers didn't have to. But I didn't mean they had to sail suicidally 15 kilometres away from the nearest friendly ship and try to take on the entire enemy attack wave by themselves. By all means, be aggressive, but temper it with a little bit of realism. There was none of that in this particular battle. Well, anyway, the first wave, which consisted of the massive attack force of 4 Tier 4 cruisers, has been dealt with, and we only almost lost a battleship doing it. The second wave is now incoming from that general direction over there, where the Bayern is. Having a look back at the base, we've lost a fort, Liberty ship's going out to repair it, Congo's just kind of sitting there, and here come the dive bombers. Just a word on the ship that I've chosen for this particular operation. I'm in the British Tier 6 cruiser, the Leander. Now, I do think that the Cleveland is the best all-round cruiser that you can take into this game. But the Leander is a close second. And if I'd been in a Cleveland in this match, I would have probably died. The fact that I was in a Leander, and I have smokescreen, torpedoes, and sonar, made a huge, huge difference. If you manage to win the shit team lottery, you're probably going to want to be in a Leander rather than a Cleveland. I think the Cleveland's a better choice if your team are capable of finding their own arse in the dark without the aid of a map, a flashlight and written instructions, but if your team can't, the Leander is definitely the ship to be in because it's a lot more self-sufficient. Unfortunately, well, good luck making that choice because you don't actually know how much your team's going to suck until the battle actually starts. Anyway, where's the code? Is he getting stuck in with the team, taking hits so we don't have to? Or is he off playing with the destroyers all by himself, 12 kilometers away from the rest of the team? Yep. Well, the Koenig has achieved his wish and he's managed to get himself sunk. Which, let's face it, he wasn't much use to the team alive, so it's not a massive tragedy. That, of course, leaves 6 of us, and this is only the second attack wave, and we've already lost a battleship. Don't forget, the last time you saw me do a video in this operation, 6 of the 7 ships on my team were Tier 6, and we still barely managed to scrape a win with the primary objective and only 1 of the secondary objectives complete in this particular version of the match. 4 of our 7 ships are Tier 5, 1 of them has already been sunk, and 2 of our ships are destroyers which don't have the damage per minute output, particularly the Minakaze, to be able to get these ships dealt with before the next wave spawns. So we've still got most of the second wave active and fighting. The third wave has just spawned, and we've just lost our Tier 6 battleship. The Bayern got himself torpedoed, flooded and sunk by the enemy carrier. Why did that happen, Jingles? Where were the cruisers? Well, at least 13 kilometers away from him. And that wasn't our fault. He charged off alone, tried to take on half of the enemy team by himself and paid the price. So we're now down a Tier 5 and Tier 6 battleship. Our only real firepower is coming from me and the Furutaka. I'm about to get hit by dive bombers, so I select them as targets for my anti-aircraft guns. Not that there's anything else for the AA guns to be firing at the moment. Start manoeuvring, and I do manage to avoid the bombs. But there's another wave of dive bombers coming in, and that is Suzuki is getting remarkably close. I missed him with my first salvo of torpedoes. I get the second salvo of torpedoes off from the other side and start directing my fire towards this guy. But let's not forget, this is still just the second wave. Our DPM is pretty terrible. I mean, the destroyers are doing what they can, but in order to do meaningful damage in a destroyer, you have to hit something with your torpedoes, and they just don't really appear to have been doing that, so they're relying on their poxy little 5-inch guns. And now the third wave has just appeared, steaming in from the north, and they're pretty much all targeting me, and I don't like those odds, so I'm getting the hell out of here. There is a Tier 7 cruiser amongst them, Miyoko over there, and that's when the cavalry arrives in the shape of the Congo. So straight away I drop him a smokescreen. One of the peculiarities of this operation is that you don't have to worry about spotting targets from inside a smokescreen because the shore installations will spot the targets for you. And the Congo has come to a halt inside the smokescreen. He is not detected, so he can sit in that smokescreen for the full duration and just shoot up all of the cruisers in front of him. I'm going to fire at my sonar just to take care of any torpedoes that get fired into the smokescreen so the Congo doesn't have to worry. Where are you going? What are you doing? What's the Congo doing? No, why would you do that? The targets are right there. You can see what's in front of you. There are 2 destroyers right in front of you. Why would you leave the smokescreen? Why would you turn broadside on to 2 destroyers? Seriously, what the fuck are you doing? Oh my god, why would you do that? And I'm doing what I can to try and save this guy from himself. But you'll notice, have a look at where my shots are landing. I'm getting perfect straddles of this destroyer with every salvo I fire, but none of them are actually hitting him. Well, one of them did, and it bounced. And yeah, how do you think this one's going to end? I mean, seriously. Oh, here they come. Yeah. Well, I can at least finish off this Auber. Let's get some AP, well, semi-armor piercing into his broadside there. Pop some torpedoes away. He's managed to ground himself. And the Congo has just been... I mean, who would have seen that coming? Congo's inside a smokescreen. Sonar to detect the torpedoes for him. Leaves the smokescreen, turns broadside on in front of two destroyers, and shock horror, gets himself torpedoed. I mean, who would have seen that one coming? So now we're down 3 battleships. Fantastic. So now the only real firepower my team has remaining is myself and the Furutaka, and oh my god, look at this lot. You have got to be kidding. Come on, let's get some citadels into this fella. The only thing going for me right now is the fact that neither this Miyoko nor that Nürnberg behind him were actually aiming at me. They were concentrating their fire on the shore battery, so the Miyoko is down. And as long as that situation lasts, I need to do as much damage as possible as I can to this Nürnberg as well. Because now, with only 4 of us left, one of us a tier 5 cruiser and the other 2 destroyers, the main attack has started. And as if that wasn't bad enough, we've just lost the Furutaka. Have a look at the mini-map. Over on the far western end of the map, you can see a whole bunch of enemy ships. That seems like an awful long way away from the rest of the team, Jingles. Oh, it is. Do you know exactly how far away he was? 18.5 kilometers. Trying to take on 4 enemy ships, because it's the carrier that sunk him. But trying to take on 3 enemy surface vessels and an aircraft carrier by himself. So, yeah. Now there's just me, the Farragut, and the Minakaze. And the Minakaze does not have a huge amount of health left. The Farragut has managed to look after his health so far. Now would be a real good time for that Minakaze to come back. There he is with 1300 health. Now would be a real good time for that Minakaze to come back and take advantage of the heal provided by the Liberty ships in Newport Naval Station. So of course, that's not what he does. I'm thinking of heading back and getting some heals myself, but, well, I haven't lost a lot of health. I still have 25,000, and I need to be in a position to attack whatever it is that gets spotted. There we go. Oh, lordy, 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 that's a Ganizer now. Now, he's been taken under fire by some of the shore batteries. And it looks like the Farragut's attempting to get some long-range shots into him and set him on fire. There are dive bombers coming in. There are some shots coming in from the northwestern end of the map. There we go, there's a Hipper. That's exchanging fire with the other shore battery. Now we've got... oh, that is a lot of enemy ships. And destroyer spotted, a Shiratsuyu. And he's almost in range. There we go. So, oh great, now he's gone. I am detected, but nobody is targeting me just yet. And oh no... no, that's a Mogami, a tier 8 cruiser. Oh, dive bombers coming in. Select them as priority targets, start manoeuvring, attempt to avoid the bomb drop. And avoided the bomb drop. Whew, okay, well I'm not burning, I'm not on fire, I haven't lost any health. Starting to put shots into the Mogami, and now they're starting to pay attention, and yep, they're targeting me. The Farragut has lost more than half of his health. So, and he is awfully exposed out there all by himself. He's obviously dropped a smokescreen, but I don't really fancy his chances. Of course, now they can't see the Farragut, although it looks like the carrier has potentially dropped some torpedoes into his smokescreen. They're all shooting at me. Oh no, wait, yep, the Farragut's been forced out of his smokescreen. They're not shooting at me anymore, which means the Farragut is about to die. No question about it. There we go. There's just me and the Minakaze left. Now the only thing that saves me here is that because there are now only 2 of us left, we get a reinforcement wave of 2 destroyers, and they have just appeared up there. There they are. And they're now taking the attention of this Mogami and the other cruisers to the north. However, I don't know if you caught a brief glimpse of our Minakaze off to the west. Yep, he's just been sunk. There he goes. He found himself within 7 kilometres of a whole bunch of enemy cruisers. With 1300 health remaining, decided that that was the right time to start shooting at them with his terrible guns. And so, no big surprises. The Minakaze is dead, and I am now the last ship left alive on my team, with more than 6 minutes to go before the end of the battle. And I don't even know how many enemy ships are out there shooting at me. I mean, it's all of them, I think. It's just... I didn't really have time to stop and count. I mean, I can stop and count now. There's 8 that we can see, but there's at least 1 enemy carrier out there, and there could be something else that's just outside of view range. So we're talking 9 enemy ships. And if it wasn't for the fact, well, 2 things. 1, I've made it back within the repair radius of both of the Liberty ships, so I'm starting to recover some health. And 2, the squadron of 2 destroyers, although one of them's already been sunk, and the shore facilities are what is occupying the attention of these enemy ships, and I'm going to help them keep their attention focused on those shore facilities by using my smokescreen. It's back up. Of course, there are destroyers well within torpedo range, so I'm also using my sonar, and yep, here they come. Okay, I need to be real careful I don't reverse into that central torpedo, so I'm going to reverse just a little. That's enough, and now half ahead just to ensure I don't accidentally kiss that torpedo with my very slim and fetching backside. More torpedoes on the way. I've managed to avoid the first salvo, just barely. Come on, where's that relief squadron? Oh crap, dive bombers coming in. Well, they can't see me, I am still inside the smoke screen, and it's still going to last for, well, not long enough. But it's going to last for a while yet. Dive bombers coming in. Just look at this. The horizon is just awash with red health bars. How long do I have left? 4 minutes. I'm never going to survive this. Let's swing the ass around. You can see that if I was in a Cleveland, at this point I'd already be dead. Simple as that. It's the fact that I was in the Leander that's the only thing that allowed me to survive for as long as I did. I've got that smoke screen, I've got the repairs, and I can use the smoke screen within the repair radius of the 2 Liberty ships. So any shots that do hit me, because they are firing blind into the smoke, and they did manage to score some hits, well, I'm still on full health, thanks to those 2 Liberty ships. Of course, I think one of them is about to be torpedoed by that Megami. And this smoke screen is about to expire, so I need to start moving. And my torpedoes have missed. Great. And I'm under air attack. And the second I pop out of that smoke screen, just look at the number of ships that start targeting me. I'm hit. I'm burning. My steering is out. I use my damage control. I use my heal. I'm trying to angle to avoid getting citadeled by these guys. Unfortunately, I kind of turned the wrong way. I mean, naturally, out of instinct, I turned away from these guys. But that means I'm just about to run into the harbour mole. Yep, I've hit the jetty. Oh, shit. And my smoke screen is still on cooldown. And I can't reverse off the jetty or I'm going to run my ass into these torpedoes. So I pretty much just have to sit here and take it. Oh, these were the longest 4 minutes of my life. I'm burning, my torpedo tubes are out, I can't do anything about the fire. I'm going to try and sink this York before I go down. Oh, my smoke screen's back up. Get some shots away against this destroyer. Jingles, use your smoke. Use your smoke before you die. Got the York. Smoke screen active. And that's when the relief column arrives. There's a Warspite and a Saipan have just arrived on the eastern end of the map. And just a few kilometres away to my west, in the direction the ship is pointing, a Missouri Tier 9 battleship and a Pensacola Tier 7 cruiser have just arrived. All I have to do now is stay alive until one of those ships makes it inside the perimeter of Newport Naval Base. And my smoke screen is going to be good for at least another minute, so I think I'm just going to sit inside this smoke screen, I think, and take my chances. I have absolutely no interest in popping out and making myself a target for all of these bastards. I'm quite content to let them shoot at the relief column, because, well, one of them's a Missouri, so good luck with that. Like I said earlier, I do genuinely think that the Cleveland is the best possible all-round ship. The Tier 6 American cruiser, the Cleveland. Best possible all-round ship for you to take into this particular operation. But if I had taken a Cleveland into this operation, I would not have survived as long as I did. And the reasons why I think the Cleveland is the best all-round ship to take into this operation is not just because of the Cleveland's fantastic damage per minute, and the fact that it can do great damage with its high explosive and, under the right circumstances, its armor-piercing shells, but it's because of the Cleveland's brutal anti-aircraft defensive firepower. A Cleveland, paired up with a couple of battleships, basically effectively neutralises the enemy carrier and renders those battleships a hell of a lot more survivable. But that means the Cleveland has to stick with the battleships. Yeah, how long do you think I would have lasted if I'd stuck close to the clown shoes driving the battleships in this particular match? I mean, no, don't think so. All things considered, I'm pretty damn glad I was in the Leander. That smokescreen was the game changer in this particular battle. Smokescreen is what allowed me to stay alive and take advantage of the heals provided by the Liberty ships, and basically with 10 or more enemy ships targeting me, the smokescreen is what allowed us to win this battle. The fact that I was in the Leander. And yes, we did win this battle. Well, I say we won this battle. I mean, I won this battle. Man, I'm going to need a new pair of carry pants after this game. It was... I mean, we only just won, but I'm amazed that we even achieved that much. 109,000 damage done, and a pair of medals I've never even seen before. Both of these medals are operations only. The first one, that's the natural selection medal, and that's nothing particularly special. To earn that, you have to destroy 4 ships of the same type as your ship, or 8 ships of any other type, and successfully complete the operation. The second one, however, that is kind of special. That's basically the operations equivalent of the Confederate medal. That one's called Assistant. You have to cause damage to at least half of the enemy ships and successfully complete the operation. Damage caused to each ship must amount to at least 10% of their normal hit points. If I'd managed to complete just one of the secondary objectives as well, I would have earned the Will to Win medal, and that's basically the equivalent of the Kolobanov's medal in World of Tanks. Be the last one standing on your team, complete a secondary task, and successfully complete the operation. Maybe next time. No thanks. My hands were shaking at the end of that battle. I don't want to have to repeat that experience again. Thank you very much. But it's good to know that it is at least doable if you use the tools that are available to you in a sensible fashion. So, yes, that was my World of Warships experience this weekend. I'm in no rush to repeat it anytime soon, thank you very much. Nevertheless, I hope it at least made an entertaining video for you lot. That's it for today, folks. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.